Welcome students. Usually, heat wave is experienced during summers, that means the hot season, but there is an instance of heat wave in winter. You heard it right, but it's not place where humans inhabit it. It's in region of Antarctica. So in region of Antarctica, we experienced winter heat wave. So we need to understand why this has happened and more essentially, what can be its impacts on whole earth and the humankind. Because though humans are not inhabited in Antarctic region, any heat there will impact as a whole, the whole planet might be jeopardized. So first thing, what actually is the heat wave? It's abnormal rise of temperatures by around 5 degrees, 10 degrees, 20 degrees even. So in Antarctica, usually the temperatures would last from minus 30 degrees Celsius to minus 40 degrees Celsius. Now, during heat wave, it came around 15 degrees Celsius. I mean, minus 15 degrees Celsius is the temperature that we're experiencing. So it is preparing for ice to melt because from 15 degrees, it's easy to reach to 0 degrees Celsius and water may increase its level, which will create havoc throughout the world. That's how the climate change is impacting. But more essentially, what is the immediate reason for this to happen? So for that to understand, if you look at this globe, after 66.5 degrees on the both sides, you'll have something called polar vortex, which is low pressure belt, which is protecting the poles and the polar regions cold winds from exiting this particular imaginary ring. So this polar vortex is protecting from this ice to melt and even the cold winds coming to the North and South American regions and the Australian regions, which are closer to these polar regions, from experiencing the cold wave where human can't survive. So this polar vortex has been weakened. With the weakened polar vortex, the heat winds, the heat wave would enter this polar region and the cold winds would go out so that this ice would be melted. And later on, if the first impact that we see is rise in sea level. And this is across the continent, not just in the Antarctic region, because it's an open sea where the water rises at one place will impact the whole places. The melting of polar ice caps is impacting whole planet. Then the immediate cause would be small islands in low-lying areas would be submerged. So it will be no more inhabitable. With this, the average temperatures of seas will fluctuate, which will impact the monsoon. With impacting monsoon, either we'll be having the famine or we'll be having huge rainfall, which both will impact the productivity of agriculture and the food security will be jeopardized. Even humans can't survive because with the natural disasters, loss of life is immense. Hope you understood the whole scenario, how it's going on. If it's clear, then we would now investigate what can be done. The simple thing is to reduce the anthropogenic activities and switch to a life where you would reduce the fossil fuels and make sure the carbon footprints are reduced. And we can protect our global commons like ozone layer, Antarctic region, and various places where you experience this climate change immediately, so that the elasticity of the whole climate is not lost. If it's clear, now before leaving, I would leave you with the mains question so that you can attempt it. So the question says, impact of climate change is non-negotiable, but could be tackled. You can comment on this statement in 150 words. You can utilize the discussion that we had today, and also you can use the static content to produce a better answer on this. Another day, I'll be back before you, giving some tips about how to analyze this current affairs, and you'll be happy to analyze it, and hope we can have some good time knowing something which is essential for humankind. Till the time I'll be back, it's time to bid adios. Thank you.